Welcome back to I'mAnOptician.com, and for those of you who are paying very close attention to the video where we restrung this rimless, you will have noticed that I have a broken figure 8 liner on here. See if I can show that to you. And this actually comes apart right here. Now this you'll find sometimes customers come in and they're like, oh, my lens doesn't fit in and this has been totally broken off. Quite often if you are taking the lenses in and out, you'll find that it shears off the one half of the figure 8 liner. So here's how we replace that. Now typically I will do it from the side that has the widest angle, so you can see the nasal here has a fairly wide angle, but this temple is possibly a little wider than that, so we're going to go in through the temple end. Now you want to just pull your eyeliner, your eye wire out from there. Again, if you can't quite get that out, use your pin and you can get in and just pull that out a little bit. And then once that's out, just leave the eye wire hang loose like that. Now getting this one out sometimes is troublesome. If you've got at least a little bit on this side, you can push it all the way out. If you don't have any of that top part of the figure 8 liner, then you're going to have to use a pin. You can sometimes get in there with the pin and push it, and just push it along until it comes out, but I've got a little there, so pull that right out. You'll see there's various spots on here. It's broken off a little bit there, it's broken off, and this is starting to shear apart here. Now we call it a figure 8 liner. Some people like to say T-bar, but if I can get this to focus really good on here, you can see how it looks like two pieces of eye wire, one on top of each other like a figure 8, and you'll see that one end is smaller than the other. The small end is what's going to go into the frame, the thick end is what's going to come along in here. So take out your figure 8 liner. You can get this from anybody, and it's all pretty much the same no matter where you buy it from. Take your roll. Now typically what I will do to size this is take my old piece, hold them end to end here, and stretch this along. It doesn't have to be exactly the same size, but you want it roughly the same size, and then snip it off. Again, use a scissors or a knife to snip that off. Don't use a cutter, or you will get a crimped end and it will be a real problem to get into the frame. Now you'll see on mine it actually says here the different diameters, that one side is 0.45 and one side is 0.55. That's the kind you want. Sometimes you'll be able to get stuff that's 5.5 and 5.5 on both sides, and that's going to be troublesome to get into the frame because it is too large to fit in the frame. And if you get a 0.45 and a 0.45, then it's too small to actually hold on to the lens, and your lens will rattle in there. So take your new piece, find which side is the smaller side. If you have some good lighting, the smaller size for me is this side here on our left. Let's see if we can get that in focus. Now you just start pushing it through and get it into the notch and start pushing it in. Now there is no real easy way to tell you to do this. You just gotta work it in, and you'll see now the problem comes when you start hitting this corner. Now if the corner is too tight, it's going to be a real problem to get around. Now even now it's starting to get tough to push that in and get it around that corner. So what you want to do is heat this up a little bit. You want to heat this up with your frame warmer, and this will actually get quite loose and it will run right around. But the problem is you do not want to get this part loose if you warm this up, then when you push this, there will be no structure to push it in and around here. So I'm just going to get that warm a little bit from here to the end and push that in. So let me turn on my frame warmer. And once that's warm, then you just kind of work that in, and you'll see how it pushes up and around that corner a little easier until you run out of warm liner, and then you have to heat it up again. And you just push it through and feed it through until you're all the way in. Again, there's no real easy way, no easy trick to tell you here's how it works, and it will work easier. All you got to do is just work it in, warm it up, work it in, warm it up. And once you get so that there's just a little bit here, you can either choose to just clip that off and make it short, or again, once we get to this corner, then we'll have to heat up this corner and that corner in order to make it loose enough to feed in. And you just kind of work it and push it and work it and push it and warm it. And once you get it in, now if you get to an unlucky kind of spot and this little tag buckles, there's no way you're going to be able to work it through anymore, because once that folds over, it just doesn't have enough structure to continue to push it in. So at that point, I'd say, you know what, let's just sacrifice that little bit and snip it off. And then once we're at this point where it is right up to the end, now you don't need much structure, it doesn't hold, and you can just get your nail on it and push it around. And you want it in far enough so that it's clear of these the two holes here, and not so far that it's overlapping with our eye wire tag on the inside. So then we can take our eye wire and restring it out through the bottom hole and back in again through the top hole. And get that out through the bottom hole. And then I'm going to use my needle nose pliers. Now you can see the old eye wire has a shape to it. That's where it was fitting in before. We're going to want to try and keep to that form, because that's exactly how big the eye wire should be, because the lens was fitting in before, and if we put it back in the same spot, it'll fit again. Just it's a lot easier to do if you're not working around a camera, so bear with me as I fit this in. Now again, if you have that end crimped a little bit, it's easier maybe to take and slice it a little bit shorter, and then it will go through that hole a lot easier. So I'm going to take and just snip that a tiny bit shorter, but at least then I'll have a nice end right there that should fit in, and I should still have plenty of room to make the eye wire long enough for the frame, for the lens to fit in. Leave a little bit of a tag there, hold that nice and tight. now the figure 8 liner is perfect all the way across. Will hold the lens in nice and snug and won't fall out or wiggle around out of that top piece. And should hold it nice and secure the way that it's designed to, and not fall out. There we are. Thank you for watching.